Dan tells me that adding oatmeal to a dinner roll is magical. Now, why is that, Dan?
So we're obviously gonna get nice oat flavor by adding oats to a roll, but we're actually gonna get incredible texture out of it as well. Normally you think about adding oats or heavy ingredients and it's gonna be dense and squat.
Yeah, mushy.
The opposite is gonna happen, and I'll show you, it is magic. In my book, it's magic.
Okay, I'm in.
So we're gonna start with 3/4 cup of old-fashioned rolled oats
Okay.
in the bottom of our mixer. And then we're going to add 2/3 cup of boiling water. Obviously we wanna be accurate when we're doing bread, and the best way to measure boiling water is to bring it to a boil and then measure it out. Not the other way, because you end up with a lot less usually.
Yep.
All right, that looks great. We have 2/3 cup. So add this to our oats, along with 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter that I've cut into a few pieces here. Give this a quick stir. So I'm gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes, and you'll see that a lot of the water will be absorbed and the butter will completely melt.
Okay.
After 10 minutes, you can see that that water is really fully absorbed. It looks like
Oatmeal.
oatmeal, right? And that's exactly what we want. So oats are really incredible in the fact that they're packed with this special compound called pentosands. And pentosands can absorb way more liquid than starch can, and about 10 times their weight in liquid.
Oh, wow.
And that means that we can actually trap a lot more water in this dough. So when we trap that water, it makes the dough pretty easy to work with. So you don't really feel that water when it's in the dough and you're working with it, so it's not super sticky. But then in the heat of the oven, it turns to steam and it really lightens the rolls.
Nice.
So we're gonna build the rest of our dough right in here, and I have 1.5 cups of bread flour. This is gonna give us lots of gluten potential, lots of structure, which we definitely need, because we're also adding 3/4 cup of whole wheat flour.
Oh, for flavor.
And I'm also gonna add 1/2 cup of cold water, then 1/4 cup of molasses. Again, this helps boost that oat flavor, gives them a beautiful color as well. So the molasses is gonna be wonderful flavor in there. You wanna avoid using blackstrap for this recipe. It's just a little too intense, a little too bitter. It'll take over everything. Also have 1.5 teaspoons of instant or rapid rise yeast and 1 teaspoon of table salt. And that is it.
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. So now we just transfer it right over to the stand mixer. We're gonna use our dough hook. And what I'm gonna do is start mixing on low until it just comes together. It might look a little bit dry, but all the ingredients will be mixed. That takes about a minute. All right, so I'm just gonna scrape down and make sure everything is mixed in there. So now we're gonna increase to medium-low, and we're gonna knead until it comes off the sides. It's still gonna stick to the bottom a little bit, and so that's gonna take about 8 minutes. Okay, perfect.
Magic.
Magic. Yep, so you can see that it's actually a relatively wet dough here. We're sticking to the bottom a little bit, which is totally fine, but it's cleared the entire bowl. This is perfect. And we're gonna get it out onto our counter. You'll actually see that it's a little bit sticky at this point. So if you want, you can lightly grease your hands if you need to, if it's sticking too much, but really we're just trying to make a really basic round here. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna place this seam side down in my greased bowl here.
Okay.
And cover with plastic wrap. So we're gonna let this rise until it's doubled in volume, which will take anywhere from an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. Our beautiful dough has doubled in volume. So I'm gonna save this plastic wrap. We'll put it back to use. I'll lightly flour my counter here. So I'm just gonna pat it with my hands to an 8-inch square. Now I use my bench scraper. We're gonna cut this into 12 pieces. So to do that, I'm gonna make some marks here so I really know what I'm doing. I'm gonna go 3 across. You can also weigh these out if you want. If you prefer to do that, there are 2¼ ounces for each ball. And I'll go 4 in this direction. Okay, great, we have 12 pieces here. And now I've got a section over here that's not floured. And that's really helpful for shaping.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is just place one over here. We're gonna cup our hand around it. And really, I have my pinky finger and thumb down and my 3 other fingers are up. And I'm just gonna work in a circular motion. Now the bottom of the roll, you can feel it sticking, and then you're just dragging your other 2 fingers and it helps tighten it up, and you're tucking more and more of the exterior underneath. And so you end up beautiful like that.
Nice.
So I'm gonna place it seam side down in our 9-inch greased cake pan over here.
Cake pan.
Cake pan. So this is actually a really, really helpful tool for baking, especially rolls like this. It provides a ton of structure, so all the rolls are gonna touch, and that helps them rise up because they can't go out.
That
so you
makes
get even
sense.
taller rolls that way.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna go 9 around the outside and then 3 in the middle.
Okay.
So I saved my plastic wrap, that's gonna go over here, and we're gonna let these double in size, and we're really looking for no spaces between them. And it's really hard to overproof these, so keep going until there's no spaces between them, and then you'll get really nice tall results. And that's gonna take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
At Cooks Illustrated, we're food nerds. That's why every recipe we develop involves research, cooking science, and rigorous testing by our team of expert test cooks, before being tested by our dedicated community of 40,000 home cooks. Only the highest rated recipes earn a place in our award-winning magazine. Every issue features our latest recipes and discoveries, cooking tips, and equipment and ingredient reviews. Our step-by-step photos and hand-drawn illustrations show you exactly how to succeed. What you won't see, even a single page of advertising. We've worked for home cooks like you for over 30 years. So, are you ready to become the best cook you know? Subscribe to Cooks Illustrated magazine at cooksillustrated.com today.
So these rolls will have a fluffy texture and will stay tender and moist for days. And that's because we used oatmeal. Now in the past, we've used the Tongjon method, and a similar process is at work here. Our recipe uses about 14 ounces of flour and oats to about 11 ounces of water. Now that's a lot of liquid for those dry ingredients to try and hold on to. So if it's all mixed together at once, it would come out more like a wet batter than a dough. Instead of mixing everything together at once, we boil some of the water and pour it over the oats, letting the mixture steep for 10 minutes. During this time, the heat causes the starch and pentosands in the oats to cook and absorb water, creating an oatmeal porridge. Then we add flour plus a little more water to the porridge, and because the starch and pentosands continue to hold on to that water that's already been absorbed, the resulting mixture is a firm, workable dough that's not sticky at all. And that's why oatmeal is a magical ingredient in these dinner rolls.
So the rolls have pretty much doubled in volume. This took about an hour. And the important part is you can't see any spaces between them.
Yeah.
So that means they're gonna have lots of support as they spring and rise in the oven. So the final step is we want them to be beautifully burnished, and that means an egg wash. So I've got a whole egg here. I'm gonna add a pinch of salt and a teaspoon of water. And what both of these do will help thin out the egg mixture a little bit. The salt impacts the proteins so that they stretch a little bit more and are thinner. And then the water obviously adds a little less viscosity to the mix. And that's gonna make it really nice for us to get an even thin coat of egg wash on all the rolls. Okay, great, that's nice and thin. I like to use a pastry brush for this.
Yeah, just a little more delicate.
Okay, beautiful. Everything has a gossamer layer of egg wash on it. Now I have 4 more teaspoons of old-fashioned rolled oats. This is for garnish.
Aww.
So I'm just gonna sprinkle them over the top, let everyone know what's inside. Okay, our rolls are ready to bake. So they're gonna go into a 375-degree oven. I'm gonna cook them until they're 195 degrees at the center, and they're gonna be gorgeously golden brown. It takes 25 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
Ooh, these smell good.
They're beautiful.
Aren't they gorgeous? So we're looking for 195 degrees in the center, and we got 198. That's perfect.
Good enough.
Those are stunners.
are lookers, yeah.
Right? So we're gonna let these sit for 3 minutes just to cool down a little bit, and then we'll flip them out of the pan.
Okay.
They've cooled for 3 minutes. So now we're gonna flip them out right onto our wire rack.
Presto changeo.
Yeah, here's the magic. It's happening throughout the recipe. Great, and then we'll just flip them back.
They came out of the pan without hesitation.
Just lovely clumped together rolls here. They look so awesome. So we'll let these cool for about 20 minutes, and then we can rip them apart, tear in. Maybe we'll get some butter involved.
Sounds good.
Okay, it is time to eat. Time to taste that magic.
Well, the proof is in the pudding, right?
And in the oatmeal.
Oh, look at that.
So you can already tell like a light fluffiness just based on that kind of structure there.
Oh, I'm a sucker for soft dinner rolls. They have a hearty flavor. You can taste the oatmeal. I can taste the whole wheat, the little bit of molasses, but this light, feathery texture.
It almost seems impossible, right?
Yeah.
Like to have all that, the whole wheat and the oats in there and have it be, you know, rich and brown like that, but then have it actually be super light and fluffy.
Damn, these are fabulous. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You want to make this magical recipe for oatmeal dinner rolls. Start by soaking old-fashioned rolled oats with boiling water to make a porridge. Use a combination of bread flour and whole wheat flour. And use a cake pan to help the rolls bake up nice and tall. From America's Test Kitchen, tender, fluffy, delicious oatmeal dinner rolls. You can get this recipe and all the recipes from this season, along with select episodes and our product reviews at our website, americastestkitchen.com/TV. These are fantastic.
Are they going to be on your table this year?
They're not even going to make it to the table. We hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it.
Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.
And if you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, head over to americastestkitchen.com and get a free all-access trial membership.
While you're there, you can sign up for our free email newsletters and download our app.
With unlimited access to over 14,000 of our test kitchen recipes and 8,000 product reviews, you'll have everything you need to cook and learn.
So I ask, what are you waiting for?
Let's make something great together.